All right, well, shifting gears a bit now. Chronic pain affects more than 50 million Americans, and often we need help when we're hurting. This morning we got a chance to talk to someone who knows all about caring for a loved one in need and in pain. It was nearly 5 years ago now that ABC News anchor Bob Woodruff survived a bomb blast in Iraq, but his brain injury required long-term attention. His wife Lee has cared for Bob since that day, now working with others on helping with that issue. Lee Woodruff joins us now live. Good morning, Lee.
Hi, Evan. How are you?
Good, and I want to start there. How's Bob? It's hard to believe it's been almost 5 years. How is he?
I know. He's great. He's back on the air. He's back as a dad and a husband. He's really had a miraculous recovery.
His work is outstanding, and the thing I think that amazed me most is that his work has been outstanding before his injury and after. But how is he at home in terms of the day-to-day?
Day-to-day, he's still a bear to be with at home, I have to say. No, I'm kidding. You know, he's really pretty much the same guy. When you've had a brain injury, there are little things that get tinkered with, and he used to exist on no sleep, and now, you know, he needs to make sure he gets 6 hours of sleep a night to be able to function the next day. But it really has been miraculous.
Yeah, and you're working now with Caregiver Cornerstones. Tell us more about that.
Well, it's a wonderful program, I have to say, and it's a program I wish that I had had way back when I was blowing through those ICU doors to see him for the first time. It's really about the 4 basic principles of caregiving, and as you said, you know, 53 million Americans live with chronic pain, so that means 50 million Americans are caring for them. It's about really educating yourself about pain management. You can and should live pain-free. It's possible, and it's a part of the medical society that you don't always get offered right away in the hospital situation. So beyond that, you need to take care, of course, of your loved one. You need to take care of yourself, which is often the really hard one. And then lastly, which plays back into number 1, number 4 is advocate for all people who are in pain. And this gets back to understanding that your loved one does deserve to be pain-free and can be pain-free. So there's a website where you can go for all of this information.
Yep, it's partnersagainstpain.com. We've got a link right now for our viewers on our website that'll take them directly to that. And I want to make an important point here is that, you know, you're so well versed in dealing with sort of the extreme side of it with Bob. But there's a lot of cases that aren't that extreme that still require that help. Chronic pain isn't always the result of that kind of an injury, right?
I'm really glad you brought that up because I feel like our situation in some ways is such an aspirational one. And if, for example, watching my mother caregive my dad who's got dementia, well, that's not going to get better. You know, he's older and it's going to an eventual end. And so for her, some of the little points are so important, like getting outside once a day, taking care of yourself. Some of the things on the website, Partners Against Pain, which help her are actual tactical things, like printing out pain diaries or medication schedules for my dad. He's on all these different medications. She, who's getting older herself, can keep track of those. So you're right. It's not always this kind of moving toward a wonderful ending. Sometimes it's helping a loved one toward an eventual end. And those caregiving situations are stressful and they're anxiety-ridden.
Before we let you go, I do want to mention to our viewers, if they have not read your book, it's outstanding, and I hope they check that out as well. And because you mentioned, again, caregivers can be stressed and kind of overworked, so let me just ask you, enough about Bob, how are you doing these days?
Well, gosh, Evan, I'm so glad you asked. You know, so well. Our 4 kids are great. Bob is great. And so much of when you are married to somebody is keyed off of how they're doing. And so I have to give us an A+ right now.
We're all glad to hear that, and great work with this. Once again, much more information about Partners Against Pain on 13wham.com. Click on the green Find It button. Lee, I'm sure we'll see you again. Our best to you and Bob and the family. Thank you.
I hope so. Thanks, Evan.
That's Lee Woodruff. She is the best. We're coming right back.